Hi everyone. I think we can start now and then we'll just let people come in later if they decide to. So yeah, I'll share my screen. Wait 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so this is the second time we're doing this, and today we have our first co-host, Maggie. Um, would you mind introducing yourself briefly for everyone?
Hi everyone, I'm a junior. My name is Maggie Peng. I'm a junior at Basis Independent Silicon Valley, and I'm really glad to be doing this today with you, Catherine.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a program that we're both doing this year. It's called World Science Scholars, and we're just going to be going over basically what it is, kind of what you would be able to learn and do in this program, and then also at the end just a little bit about the application process. Okay. So to start off, the World Science Scholars, or WSS, is a program that's part of the World Science Festival, and it's free for high school students who are interested in math and really want to apply math to the sciences in some way. And basically, what it allows you to do is take these college level courses from world renowned faculty, and we'll talk a little bit about what those courses are later on. But you get to join this community of peers who are all interested in math and applying it to change something in the world. Um, Also, one thing that you can do at the end of the year is attend the World Science Festival, which this year is going to be in New York City. And they actually pay for you and a parent to go, which is really nice. Basically, you go there and you can listen to talks given by scholars and experts, and then also discuss with other people. And then the website is just worldsciencescholars.com, so you can check it out and find more information there.
Okay, so these are the courses we have taken so far under World Science Scholars. Our first one was called Space, Time, and Matter, taught by Brian Greene, who's basically the founder of the World Science Festival and World Science Scholars, the World Science Scholars program. In this course, we learned about special relativity and quantum mechanics and a bunch of really advanced physics that you don't really see in high school. And our next course was Taming Light with Metamaterials. This course was about how to apply some of the stuff we kind of learned in the first one, including optics and basically material science. So if you're interested in kind of applications of physics in the industry, this course would be really interesting for you. Our third course, which ended really recently, was called Starquakes and Exoplanets. This one was more of the astrophysics side, and it basically taught a kind of really interesting cross section between geology and astronomy. It was basically about how you can detect using seismology technology and seismology knowledge that you learn on Earth, how you can apply that to finding out about earthquakes in space and on exoplanets. And the last course we have been taking so far, or it just started and we're taking it right now, is called the Neurobiology of Vocal Learning and Spoken Language, which is kind of related to natural language processing. If any of you guys are interested in that, it's basically a neuroscience course with a focus on language and speaking and that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll just say something really quickly. As you can see, there's a really broad range of the different topics that you can use math to apply to sciences. And also, the math that's in these courses is not super complicated. If you're interested in math and learning about different new topics in it, it'll definitely like you'll definitely be able to do that. But I think it's nice to like see a different perspective and to see like how math can actually be used in action beyond just like doing math competitions, which maybe some of you may be more familiar with. Okay.
And lastly, the application process. It's a very simple application. There are 3 Google Forms that you have to fill out. One that you fill out, one that one of your parents fills out, and one that a teacher fills out. So I don't really know much about the parent and teacher applications, but I know for the student application, it has a really high focus on your mathematical interest and like a bunch of essays about your like why you're applying to this program, what have you done so far that demonstrates your like interest in math, and what kind of science are you interested in pursuing in the future. And if I'm not mistaken, the application is still open like as of now. So if you guys are interested, you can still apply.
Yeah. Okay. That was the end of our very short presentation. And the rest of this time, as I said last time, is for you to ask questions and just, yeah, feel free to ask for clarification, advice, or about our experiences in WSS and other STEM programs. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Um, yeah, feel free to just put questions in the chat. You don't have to stay the whole time if you don't have questions, but we'll just be here and answer them as they come. I can take this one, or I can start us off. So for WSS, I'm assuming you mean like once you get in and then like the coursework and stuff. Um, it honestly is not too much of a time commitment. Like basically the courses, how they work is they have a lot of like online videos of the lectures that the professors give. And then they have some like short quizzes in between to make sure that you're grasping the material and everything. Um, but there's a lot of like freedom in terms of how much time you would like to spend exploring these topics. Like you can, search other stuff up or like find videos to watch online about what you're learning. And also you can like take time to discuss with other scholars and everything. They also have like live sessions that are every month or so ish on like the courses where you can actually ask questions live and interact with the experts. So it's, yeah, I would say it's like not too much time um, if you kind of go steadily and watch the videos as they're posted on the website.
Yeah, I know for at the beginning when you get in, they tell you that you should probably like be devoting at least 2 hours a week to this, which isn't that much of a time commitment. Yeah. I can take this one, Catherine. But basically, yes, you are regularly able to interact with the other high schoolers. So there are the people that world science scholars are from like all around the world. So it's you can't really see many of them in person. So online is basically the only way you're able to interact with them. But there's a lot of platforms that they offer for like discussion and like discussion of like course topics and also like stuff you're doing outside of the class. So there's like threads on our uh there's threads on like projects you're doing outside of school for and then also threads for like each of the classes you're taking right now, so for like all the courses that we mentioned earlier. And yeah, you are able to talk with other scholars and also like the professors pretty often, which I think is pretty nice.
Yeah, just adding on, there's this like I think it's called Discourse, but it's like an online forum group type thing with a bunch of different topics that you can talk to people about. And then we also have those live sessions. And then at the end of the year, the trip to New York, you can actually see like the people behind the screens and talk to them in real life. So for quizzes and exams and stuff, since it's a program that is definitely very dependent on like how much you're willing to put into it, there's not really like tests where they're going to grade you and stuff on it. But as I mentioned before, like in the courses themselves, embedded between the different video lectures, they have like three-ish question little quizzes that can test your understanding. And then you can go back and do them again, just like if you get something wrong. So it's not like a grading system where if you don't get 100%, someone's gonna yell at you. It's like just to make sure that you're learning and engaged with the material. Also, feel free to like ask questions about other STEM programs if you would like to, like other STEM, I guess, competitions and stuff that we might have experience in. We can talk to you about those too. But yeah. And then for the projects, I can talk a little bit about it. So the projects, I think, in addition to like courses, they have, yeah, projects that you can do under the guidance of the professors and the scholars. And also, like, you can work with your peers on them. One of them that we recently had was for the star quakes and exoplanets course. And I think it was a little bit more involved in terms of like actual mathematics, rather than just seeing them applied in like formulas that, yeah, that were in the courses. So we do have like projects where you can actually like look at real data and find something about like a planet or, yeah, whatever you're learning about. Um, so I don't know if you were here last time, but that was when I talked more about like math competitions specifically. Um, but yeah, so I can answer this briefly, but I think that like maybe keep the questions more to like STEM programs in general. But for after like for I guess preparing for Amy, you can definitely go through the past problems. There's a bunch of mocks on AOPS too, and um, I think that like kind of figuring out what kind of questions or what subject out of like algebra, number theory, geo, and combo you're most comfortable or not comfortable with, and like working on those accordingly is really helpful. AOPS is a great resource. It compiles like pages of intermediate, they call them intermediate, like combo or geo or whatever problems, where they have like all those past problems. So you can look at that.
Okay, I can answer this one. Research and competitions are definitely like way different. Research is a lot more time consuming than competition. Well, I think it's kind of like what you really want to do because competitions doesn't really have anything to do with like um innovation or like being creative or anything, but research is a lot of kind of it's a lot more difficult in that sense. You have to like come up with new stuff and like be really persistent in trying to find knowledge. But for but competitions are a lot harder in that a lot of them are like super there's a lot of people that like spend a lot of time on competition. So if you want to be like so if you want to be really good at that, it's difficult to kind of be like first it's kind of difficult to like get really, really good at one of them, I guess. So, because for like Olympiads and everything, people spend like a lot of time on them, and you can't really have, you can't really have both, I guess. You kind of have to decide whether you want to do research or competitions, but it really depends on if you find competitions like if you find spending time on competitions like to be interesting enough to like keep you going for like the entirety of high school, or if you think kind of doing new stuff in research is better for you.
Yeah, I don't really do much like science research, but um, I've had friends or like older people who do math that I know, who like they started out with competitions and then they decided to do research or they got into some program for that, and they really loved it, and so they thought like maybe competitions aren't for me. So I think that competitions are probably more like approachable in that you can start at one of the lower levels and work your way up if you want to. And that does give you some of the foundation for like understanding what you're doing with research. But once you get to a stage where you want to try researching and like finding something new and applying those skills that you've gotten from competitions, I think that can definitely be like really valuable and tell you maybe what would be a better fit for you.
Oh yeah, just to add on, um, not like scientific research, like doing like lab science research has a super, it's kind of a high barrier to entry because a lot of like organizations that do research or like college labs don't really they don't really welcome high schoolers, I guess, because there's like a lot of people in the world that want to do research in general, and it's always better to hire like someone that has a lot more experience than someone who's like entry level, like a high schooler. So competitions are kind of also a good way to like qualify you for research because you show that you kind of have like knowledge in that area. But yeah, also consider that if you want to go into research as a high schooler or like younger.
Yeah, so for the next question, um, besides the lessons, there's homework in the sense that there's like those projects that we mentioned earlier. So I think for this one, they had like a Google Drive folder where you can submit your work, and then one of the professors or the assistant professors can look over it and then give you comments on your work. So I guess that you could count as homework, but since, as I said before, like they're um, depending on like you wanting to do this and taking that initiative, there's no one who's going to come to you and say like you didn't do your homework if you don't complete a project. Yeah. So I have not, well, I don't really need to decide yet because um, a lot of universities allow you to wait until the end of like sophomore year to choose exactly what you're going to study. But I think that I will definitely explore more in terms of like math and CS and also maybe a little bit about language. And so I'm really excited for like the next course that we're doing in World Science Scholars, which is on language and vocal learning. So, okay, for math classes, I've taken like Alpha Star, which a lot of people do, and then also uh I've also taken like momentum learning, which I talked about last time too, so you can look at the recording for that. And then also AOPS has really good math courses. So yeah.
So for the Science Olympiad question, I started doing Science Olympiad in like seventh grade, I think. Like you have to go through your school to do it. There's like school teams and stuff. So there's just a bunch of events that you can choose from. Some of them are like pretty difficult and like specific, like anatomy and physiology, or like forensics, or disease detectives, or astronomy, that kind of stuff. And some of them are like pretty random and easy, like write it, do it, or ornithology, stuff like that. But basically, um, it can get like super crazy competitive, and there's like a bunch of stuff you can do, and you just have to like, I think you just have to try it out and see if you like it. Like it's kind of like a test-based competition, or like sometimes there's build stuff too, but like yeah, mostly test-based. And yeah, it's really rewarding if you like enjoy it. I can ask this one too. Answer this one, sorry. But there's a lot of free courses from like colleges and stuff online. Uh, there's like for a lot of courses, you just pay money to get the certificate, basically. Like, so if you just take the course and you don't pay, then you don't get the certificate, but you still get all the knowledge. So like I know Harvard, Stanford, MIT, all those places, they have they offer a lot of free college level classes on sites like I don't know, like Coursera, Udemy, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and some of them are paid too, but they also always offer a lot of really good knowledge, and some of them are like recorded straight from the college themselves. So you know they're like pretty reputable, credible, like yeah, they're in general pretty good.
Yeah. I heard MIT, so I can talk about that a little bit. But MIT has an open learning library. I think it's called MIT Open Courseware, and they have a bunch of like lecture videos, and also I think some of them have like lecture notes and actual like materials from what the classes like from the classes if you were to take it at MIT, if that makes sense. But it just has a lot of like free resources and yeah, I'm not sure how many different sciences it covers, but I know it has like biology and chemistry in addition to math. So you can start there. And also there's like YouTube videos and just a lot of resources online. One thing that I think I can just talk about briefly is you can take like courses and programs online or whatever to build a foundation in math and science, but also one good way to like learn more is to find a group of peers that you can study together with. Um, I have like I'm in a study group of I think 4 people where we basically get together every week and just like do problems together or like discuss together and I don't know, teach solutions and explain things to each other. And it like helps cement our understanding of those concepts. So that can be applied to math and it can be applied to science. So you can like share and find resources together and then discuss them with each other.
Yeah, I can take this question. So some good science competitions to try out. If obviously like all the Olympiads, like USABO and USINCO and all of that stuff, and are basically they're like pretty hard to I mean they're not like hard to begin or because like you don't need any prior experience besides like studying and stuff. So and you take them through your school and uh basically I guess it's more like knowledge instead of like if you go to a science fair, you have to do like research and stuff. So for those kinds of competitions, it's just pure studying. And also like if you're interested in computer science, USICO is also pretty good because for that, like doing bronze, you don't need like passing bronze, you really don't need that much knowledge of like algorithms because it's pretty simple. But after that, you have to start getting a little more serious in studying. And well, yeah, if you basically haven't competed in science competitions before, those are some pretty good places to like get an idea of like what they're like. You can see like Google old tests online because a lot of people do them. But if you're like not really, but you're if you're looking more for like research competitions, like there's a bunch of local science fairs and like that are pretty prestigious if you want to go like check those out too.
I can address the first part of it. So, NACLO is a really cool competition. It's the North American Computational Linguistics Open or Olympiad. They changed the name really recently or something. But basically, it's like a competition where you have a bunch of different language puzzles. Um, and those can look like pretty different. They range from just like translation problems where they give you clues or like translations of sentences or phrases from one language to English. And then you have to translate and write more sentences in that language. They can also look like, okay, sorry, my thing died. But they can also look like kind of more computational aspects of language, like what you would do if you were modeling language for a computer. They have like, if you've done ACSL before, they have like those little charts of like the different letters connecting to each other. But basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like they have a bunch of different types of language problems, and you really don't need any like knowledge, previous knowledge about those languages. It's just based on your reasoning and logic skills. And it's really fun. It's like it's cool to like explore how your brain can like figure out these completely new languages just by being given a few clues. Yeah. Also, they have like the open round, and then after that, you can qualify to the invitational round, which is a little bit longer. And then after that, they have, I think they still have a training camp. Um, it depends on how much funding they get, but yeah, you can go to the camp, and then after that is the IOL, which is the like international competition for it. Maggie, do you want to talk about Yusenko?
Yeah, sure. Yusenko is basically like the chemistry equivalent of all these science Olympiads. So like not like science Olympiad, but like science competition Olympiads. So like Yusubo, if you ever heard of that, or like Yusuko, um, or like F equals MA, all that stuff. So basically it's like it's a really comprehensive test of like all chemistry knowledge. So that includes like inorganic chemistry, organic, descriptive, all of that, like really difficult stuff. Like stereochemistry, electrochemistry, kinetics, like literally everything. And it's really comprehensive, even like it's way past the AP level, and it's not that hard to make it to nationals. You just have to be like, well, it's hard in the Silicon Valley because everyone's really good at like STEM, but you have to be top, I think, 12% of your region. And basically, after you advance to national level, you can also advance to international, like the ITRO, and then it's basically like, yeah, it's really competitive. Or it's like, it's not competitive, but it's like hard to get past nationals. USNCOs for high school mostly. So
For
ninth grade.
NAPLA, sorry. um, I don't think there is an age limit or like restriction because we took it a month ago-ish, and there was like a fifth grader or a sixth grader taking it. So yeah, I think you can take it whenever you want. Obviously, please don't take it if you like don't want to. But yeah, you should take it for fun if you're interested. Also, one thing I want to mention is I talked to, or I briefly like said it in my previous response, but one like competition contest for computer science is called ACSL, and I wouldn't recommend it to like improve your programming skills because most of their programming problems are like implementation based. But I think that the topics that they cover, they have like on their website. I can link it, but they have like all the study materials for the different topics that are tested in their contests. And I think that it's really interesting to look at those and just to like read through. You don't have to, study them deeply or extensively, but they can definitely like introduce you to some topics that you probably will see later on in high school and maybe in college if you go like if you go on that path. Um, yeah, I just wanted to mention it because one time I took a NACLO contest, I think, and one of the like concepts was from ACSL, and that's how I knew about it. So, yeah, pretty cool. We have 5 minutes left. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, but we'll be around for a little bit longer. So, yeah. I'm not actually sure if there's a lot of STEM programs that are limited to participation if your school is doing it. Um, but I think last year or the year before, the like SIP, which is a research program, um, they wanted us to apply through Harker, so maybe that's like one where you have to apply through your school. But I don't think that most programs will do that, or at least the ones that like I have experience with. Okay, so it's 6:30. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Maggie, for coming to co-host with me. And yeah, I hope we helped answer some of your questions and you learned a little bit about different STEM programs. Um, yeah, have a good day. See you all next week, hopefully. Thank you.